Hello beer tubers and welcome to another beer review with me, Peter the Master of Hops. Today checking out some more craft beer from Sweden, from the ever so awesome Johan in Sweden. Johan sent me some beer last year, I think. Johan sent me so much beer. He sends me a lot, so thanks so much, dude. This is another one he shipped over, and this is a beer I'm really stoked on. This is from Närke, and this is a bottle of their Katalysator Rauchbock. Närke, one of the OGs of the Swedish beer scene. I gave these guys a shout out in my top 10 this year because of what they've been doing lately or the last few years with their very, very famous Stormaxporter. This is one of those OGs in Sweden that is just making awesome beer. And that I think also a lot of modern beer geeks should give more cred. I mean, credit's due for these guys. Without Närke, there's a lot of things that wouldn't be around. It's one of the progenitors of barrel aging in Sweden, really, along with also to some extent Nils Oskar. I don't know who actually started doing it first, but Katalysator Rauchbock, obvious reference here to Schlenkala and their beers. This is an 8.5% smoked Doppelbock. Original gravity 18 Plato, and it says von Anfang an mit Feuer gebraut, which means something like brewed with fire from the start. But yeah, this will be fun. I mean, I love smoked beer, so I'm hoping this will be full on as the beers from Bamberg. So pours a nice color. It's actually not as dark as some Doppelbocks. It's, if you think of like Schlenkerlas, it's also actually a little bit less smoky, by the way, the Schlenkerla one than the Urbock. But yeah, it's like a slightly amber hue. And I actually, when I poured it out first, because there's a bit of sediment in the bottle, it was quite crystal clear, but we got a little bit of haze, but that's totally okay. Just like the Schlenkerla, a lot of the Schlenkerlas, for example, are unfiltered. But it's more of a light amber color. Almost looks a bit like a dark Maibock or something like that. Imperial Maibock. I mean, double box can range a lot in color too. But yeah, it looks nice. It's light in color. It's got a white head. Let's check out the aroma. A really fresh, like Munich malt character to me. Like lots of like bready Munich malt. But the smoke is really subtle. Like I'm not smelling much smoke really. That's the thing, like when you do not have access to dead fresh smoked malt. You might brew a recipe once and it's like, wow, this was awesome. And then you brew it again with the same amount of smoked malt and it's just different. Of course, also because there's different lots and whatever, but the big thing is like, also I think the age of the smoked malt. If it's really fresh, it's more smoky than old. But like if you buy from a wholesaler and you don't have your own like malting plant or you're not able to smoke your own malt and whatnot, you can't get always the same result. I mean, I've brewed a couple batches of Rauchbier and to varying results, like first batch being a bit more smoky, second batch being a little less smoky, but exactly the same recipe and process. Second or third whiff here, I'm getting a little bit more, but it's still somewhat soft. It's like, it's not really that intense. It also smells a bit like really like fresh grains, just like chewing into, like if you ever eat Munich malt, it smells a bit like just like when you take it and you chew it in your mouth and like, or if you crush it up, but if you just have it straight from the mill, like or something like it's just like so vibrant and intense. The Munich character, I'm pretty sure it's Munich malt. It smells like the aromas you expect from a lighter colored Doppelbock. There's not as much like caramel and toffee, but it's just like really heavy breadiness and crusty breadiness and toasty breadiness. Because yeah, there's not like loads of caramel and toffee and these other things that you can get from like Cara Munich or whatever, different types of malts. Or some brewers even use, a little bit of Carafa or something. But it smells really nice still. Let's try it. Cheers. And thanks a ton, Johan. There it is. There is a super soft smoke. Super soft. For a sec there, it reminded me of peat smoke, actually. Interestingly enough, let's just go for another sip. I'm not sure why. That was interesting. But because peat smoke malt is not usually what you use in a Rauchbier. It's beechwood smoked malt, at least historically. But people can do whatever they feel like. I've had Rauchbier with peat smoked malt, but I don't think it is. I think it's just some like phenolic character or something like that. There's an interesting spiciness. I think it's also maybe hops. There's an interesting like sharp spiciness, but there's so much Munich malt. It really tastes like a Bock, a heavy Munich malt centric beer, or yeah, Doppelbock, whatever. Because there's so much heavy like breadiness and crusty, toasty breadiness. Mm-hmm. And maybe a touch of caramel. Touches of caramel, more so in the aroma. And a little like a Italy spice. And then like it has a little bit interesting, like a slightly almost medicinal smoke bite to it. And that's why I'm thinking peat malt. Because peated malt gives off sometimes a little bit of a medicinal smokiness. Whereas like the classic beechwood smoke or oak smoke malt and whatnot gives more like a more meaty barbecue like flavor, and this is not exactly what you're getting here. But it's also very light, the smoke, so like that might be why. Warming too, super clean though. Also a little bit like a toasted honey malty kind of thing, almost like granola honey, kind of honey toasted granola or toasted granola with honey, something like that. There's a little bit of that. I just can't really like. I like it, but it's like I keep just like, oh, where's more smoke? Come on, more smoke. Like when it also says brewed from with fire from the start and whatnot, I would personally want like a little more like, but it depends on what the brewer intended to do. Maybe they like the more easygoing smoke beers in Germany, because there's a lot of brewers outside of Bamberg and also in Bamberg that do smoke beers that are not as heavily smoked. It could also be an age thing. It could also be an age thing. It says it's best before the 15th of March this year, 23. And I'd imagine, I don't know when this was bottled, I'd imagine they'd give it more than a year since it's a Doppelbock. So it could be that the bottle is just old, because with time, smoke fades as well, comes back, like it goes in waves. But it's nice. I'm just not like fired up about it. And maybe it's just because just before this review, I had a beer from Schlenkala that was smoked malt, and it had like it had more smoke character than this. Like, and it was branded as a non-smoked beer, but it was just because of the house yeast and equipment and all that. And that had a bit more smoke character than this. This is not a bad beer in any way. I'm just a bit disappointed in the level of smoke. But yeah, it's still really nice. Närke makes nice beers, and this is definitely not a bad beer, but it's just like, I want more of that smoke. But yeah, it's nice. It's like if you love really Munich heavy beers, Munich malt heavy, and like, lighter double bocks, this is something for you. In terms of grade, '87, yeah, 88, maybe 86, in that range. It's nice beer. I'm just not like, it's not rocking my world. Like, I think to be really excited, I just want more smoke. But that's also just because like I love the heavily smoked Rauchbiers. It's a preference thing for me, but it is still a nice piece of craftsmanship. So if you guys had a chance to try the Närke Kulturbryggeri Katalysator Rauchbock, let me know what you thought of it. And thanks a ton to Johan for the beer. And as always, remember to comment, subscribe, check the Facebook fan page and Twitter and Instagram. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Ring the bell for future notifications about videos. And I'm going to say cheers and see you guys in another beer review.